holiday. Today's my friend's birthday and Passover. And he's like, come see me while you can and things like that. But man, I'll just let people come in. And I must say, I said this a while ago that holidays are not going to feel like holidays. And it happened on Palm Sunday. It happened to me on Eid, that's for sure. And Eid, my holiday did not feel like Eid at all. I felt like it's just an ordinary day, and that same day everything was just like getting sabotaged in Israel, and like people are getting bombed on the holy sites on the I wasn't able to enjoy a feast because things just felt a little like weird. Like I'm sitting here trying to make a prayer for my meal, and I'm seeing things get bombed on my television where I just came from a visit, you know. And Passover, right? I bet this year, anybody who's living Passover, it's like, I guess you are living through early life, how life used to be in front of Iran's war and all that stuff, you know? And I feel like that vibe's coming back because Passover, for some people, it just doesn't feel like Passover. It feels like early life is repeating itself, and some people are trying to make the best of it. Some people are trying to enjoy it. Well, others, they're just like, do the best of it, you know? And honestly, like, for me, even though I'm not Jewish, was it yesterday? I believe it was yesterday, right? So then for me to like give people lectures, I feel the best thing to watch on Passover is to watch The Prince of Egypt. Prince of Egypt shows everything that Passover is linked to. It's linked to Moses, it's linked to how he was raised by Egyptians and how people in Egypt really looked up to him, things like that, you know. And people who don't really know the concept of Passover or Pesach, they can always watch educational videos. You know, it's not necessarily that everything you do has to come from, like, you know, holy books and things like that. They can also come from educational videos. And one of them, I would say the most educational video you are going to find, it is probably going to be The Prince of Egypt, and how Moses' relationship, it was good with the Pharaoh. It teaches how he was raised with the Pharaoh. And it shows all that stuff that the holy books have once said, that, like, you know, how his mom or whatever, like, you know, it's going to sail him to the river. All that happened in that video, okay? And it shows how was his relationship with the Pharaoh until he discovers, like, you know, he's racing with the Pharaoh, enjoying everything with the Egyptians, everything you can possibly think of. He's doing all those things until he sees some, like, you know, slaves and things like that, and it turned out to be his sister. And he's like, she's like, oh, how you doing? You know, you're one of us. And Moses is like, I'm not a slave. I never was a slave. And he's like, well, you're one of us. And until he had like unusual dreams, and he seen a man who literally got pushed off a cliff or whatever, who turned out to be his father. So that's when he started to get unusual vibes. He started to see dreams, and it turned out to be he was Jewish. And then that's when people are like actually getting ideas, and he started having unusual vibes about himself. So it teaches you, like, okay, you may be raised with a different family, but you cannot see your own get corrupted the same way or go to hell the same way. So from rich life, he went to a poor life being with the Jews and like being around Jews. He married a Jewish girl who's in the video as well. And so from a rich life, he went to a poor life, all because he could not see his own get, beat up, right? And I would say that movie is like the best movie for people to learn from. If you don't believe in the holy books, you will believe in that story. And then just like how early days, like not a lot of people believed in God, he didn't either. There's a clip of him in that movie. He's literally in denial, like, oh, God, what do you want from me, and things like that, you know? And that's the story. Nobody knew, like, the pharaohs was like, what the heck is God? And you can't have superpowers, you know? You can't have any of that, because they've always felt that they're the powerful ones above, you know, Moses. And they ran the power above the Jews, like, we're the powerful ones. Where do you come from? You can't have any power, you know? So then, of course, we all know what happened after that. The Red Sea and stuff, how they, like, crossed in everything, which is in the holy books, whether it's the Quran, Bible, whatever. It's in all that. But that teaches you what was it about, right? And I say to people sometimes that if you do not believe in any of these, you can get some educational videos to watch. That's going to help you too. And that's going to help your kids. Well, understand what is it about. And I would say today in society that Passover does not feel like Passover because of all the hatred that's around. People feel like it's not the same. Things are not the same, and people just feel like stuff just feels like it's from the early days, like living into slavery or something when it's not. Although it's not, but that doesn't mean you can't make the best of it. That's what I felt when I was celebrating Eid. And my mom's like, oh, you haven't touched anything. And I'm just like, I'm not in the mood. And then on Palm Sunday, my Christian friend, I talked to her too. I'm like, so what are you going to do for, well, Palm Sunday? First, she thought about like cooking her mom ham and things like that. And she's just like, I don't know. Things just feel like an ordinary day. And now I look at people from Passover, they just feel the same way too, like it's an ordinary day. It doesn't feel like how it's supposed to be because of the atmosphere. But honestly, Passover today in society, Passover is gonna feel like something from the past, like some torture you lived. Are you living back in the past when people used to bully different groups around, you know? But it makes you realize that, hey, okay, what one bad storm teaches you what to do and what not to do, who to shake hands with, where your differences come from, who can you trust, who can you not trust, because the world is always made different. It's not made literally the same way. It's made differently all over the place, you know? And that's what stuff teaches you today. Every war has a consequence. Every war teaches you who can you trust, who can you not trust. Every war also teaches you that who your new friends are going to be, who your new friends, is it going to be somebody you never expected? That also teaches you through the wars. And the Passover, I say, is a lesson of Moses, okay? Look at the Egyptians, right? He was good with the Pharaoh, everything, but when it comes to freeing his people, did he wish hate for the Pharaoh? No, he did not wish hate for the Pharaoh. Oh, guys, come on into my subscribers. And I would say Passover, other than a holiday, there's so much you can learn from this, the concept of this holiday. That how Egyptians had like all these negative views towards the Jews, and Moses being a part of them, but did he wish them evil? No, he didn't. Even though I could say in the movie when I watched it, I was quite surprised that why wouldn't he fight the Pharaoh, even though the Pharaoh was seen like his half brother or something like that, because the mother of the Pharaoh raised Moses. He could have wanted to take his full hatred out and, you know, beat up the Pharaoh in full anger, like, hey, you're enslaving my people, how dare you, and things like that, you know. But no, it wasn't like that. He felt bad when the Pharaoh got killed from the wave of the Red Sea, everything, but then he moved on at the same time with his people, like, hey, this is who I am, and I need to face it, and I need to live with my people the way I am. And that's how Jews see today, believe it or not, that, hey, we need to be Jews, we need to live the way we are. But also, I know I asked this question many times because I feel like this too sometimes when I'm a Muslim. What is the true concept of freedom? I want everybody to think about this. The true concept of freedom is where you can laugh, be yourself about with any circle. Laugh and do trust with any circle. Laugh and be yourself around any circle. That is freedom. That means that circle is okay with you. It doesn't mind what you look like, dress like, what your faith is like. That is freedom. Until that freedom is that, what should I put it, buried, nobody's free. Nobody, because everybody is into their own world and they feel like this is the only way, but it's not going to help you survive. I can promise anybody that. Now, honestly, if somebody can tell me, and I want you to think about this, what feels the same? I asked this in 2024 over and over and over again. What feels the same? Anything? Everything feels so divided. It feels like COVID. Remember the days of the COVID when families were divided and families didn't want to socialize? Families didn't want to go to each other's houses because of the COVID wave. Everybody just wanted to stay in their houses and not see anybody. This, it feels no different, right? And everybody's having their holidays, whether it's Eid, Palm Sunday, Passover, and everybody's just like, things don't feel the same. And it doesn't even feel like a holiday at all because of the atmosphere. But honestly, for me, when I think of Passover, I put on educational movies and I tell my friends that if you cannot describe it, you should always put on educational movies. So then for you to share your emotions, let the movie do the talking, and the movie will educate itself to people what it's really about. You know? And it helps. that, okay, if you do not want to explain what the holiday is about, it hurts your feelings, it makes you feel sad, like it reminds you of sensitive stuff, what you've been through, let the movie do the talking. And the movie teaches a lot of people. I can say that much. I didn't even know that this movie existed, but I realized that how this movie is, due to anti-Semitism, is suspended on a lot of channels. It's not on Amazon Prime. Hey, what's up, Lufo, Lulu? Welcome to the channel. What's up, guys? Passover stream I'm doing with everybody, and share your thoughts, what you think. So, like, this movie, right? It's unbelievable how this movie, it is suspended from Amazon. It is suspended from the Disney Channel, and the only place I could possibly find it, just to like have it for my own copy for educational purposes, is probably YouTube, but I have to purchase it. Before, this movie used to be on like Amazon Prime, Netflix, it used to be on the Disney Channel, but since it's about Jews, it's been terminated off of some certain networks. Could you believe it? And I didn't believe it at first until I actually watched it, what it was about, and I'm like, oh my god, that's why it's terminated, because it's about Jews, and they terminated this film because they don't want people learning about Jews. Crazy as it sounds, but yeah. Can I know from which place? Oh, I'm from Houston, how you doing? I'm from Houston, how do you do? So, like, if you want to watch that movie, I would say purchase it from YouTube. YouTube, Prince of Egypt, I'm going to put it in the chat. I think, honestly, if you guys do not want to believe in, like, holy books or people's stuff on social media, just watch that movie. That movie will tell you everything. Everything that the books have ever said, how Moses' mom sails him to the river, that movie shows it all. All of it. All of it. What happens if you want to teach your little kids, like, hey, you know, I want my kids to learn some of it, than to live completely blank, not knowing what anything is, and you feel like, okay, due to the atmosphere, or you're afraid to teach them due to what's around, show them a movie. Show them a movie. And that movie is going to show you everything. Everything that is ever said for Passover, almost everything you can possibly think of. That movie will do it all. It's not going to let you down. I can promise that much. It's not going to let you down, and it's going to do your job very successfully, and it's going to help your children learn that what the concept of Moses is about. But what does it teach you? It also teaches you, did Moses ever curse out the Egyptians? No, he didn't. Even though his own people were enslaved by the Egyptians, but he didn't have the capacity to ever curse out the Egyptians. Toad Mom, can I know where we're from? Toad Mom, hey, yeah. No, I want my girl to learn. The child, I would never leave her isolated. I want her to discover for herself. I want her to make her own opinion. I want her to make her own education observance, and then give a thought. Not, I can only educate her to a point, but in the end, she has to make her own opinion based on what she sees. And I can only help her with that. Hey, watch this, study this story, read that book about people. I know in today's society, people are just posting like hate content and, oh, who's the next Muslim? Well, you know what? I was told that when I was like 8 years old. The older that I get, there is going to be like Muslims who are going to leave their religion. I'm not sure for Christians, and how the religion itself is going to be a little bit destroyed based on how my mother-in-law says it all the time, that half of the stuff that the book says, people don't teach it. I know I was just on the phone with a Christian, and she started asking me about Prophet Muhammad. She's like, do Muslims believe that the Prophet Muhammad is going to come back? I'm like, why would you say that? There's no such scripture. He's not coming back. He only gave the book, but based on how people teach it, it's like he's the only one when he's not. There's only one name in every damn religion that's meant to resurrect, and I told her that. That would be Jesus. There's no religion that says any other name that's supposed to resurrect. It's literally one. Just one. From ancient times to medieval times to now, just one. That's Jesus. But people don't think like that. People don't think like how I'm educating on my stream. People think, oh, they believe in this, they believe in that. If I tell you that half of the stuff that you watch on social media and you watch on content creators' pages, taking that video, if you actually just do your self-education, there's many countries who did this shit. Russians have raped their own people. Russians have tortured its own people. and made everybody believe that the concept they're giving in religion is the only religion. But there's many countries who've done that shit. People just don't look hard enough, you know? And I say it, but even if you study, is there worth hating people who want to be your friends, or who want to learn about your culture, or who want to learn about your tradition? I should know, because I was only told about Israel in little books, stories, but I didn't know anything about the culture. And based on what the social media was telling me, I think I should make a reel with time. What was my reaction? The first video that I saw, and how terrified I got from these Israeli people. I was like a freak. I got scared as if they hate like Muslims, you know, because of what I saw on social media. And I felt like it's true. But when you do your own observance and your own things, look it up and give people chances, like, okay, I'm here to the table, I'm willing to learn. You educate me for a change. What is your culture? Don't worry about social media. I'm here to learn. That's a different story. And I feel that's what people should be doing. Make their own observations, make their own observance, do self-education at some point. It is really important. And after you all do all those things, read about the globe. That is also important, so you understand, is there other countries who've done the same shit? The answer is a yes. People just don't read about it. And that gives you a better understanding. It also heals for you to trust other people. Because if you read about other countries who have done similar shit, it makes you understand, okay, the many countries have done this shit. Why are we getting mad at one specific people? And Passover, I say this holiday is a lesson. Yes, it's a sad holiday, no joke. Jews become slaves, but it also teaches you a lesson. Did Moses wish the Egyptians wrong? Even though God gave him power on his staff. He had the ability to fight the Egyptians and, like, you know, wish back for them, but he didn't do that. All he did when God gave him power is just lift up the Red Sea and make the Jews cross towards it. I know there's another story linked to the Jordanian River. I'm going to have to find that one. But this is what he did. If he had the ability to fight Egyptians and actually, like, you know, do them wrong, but he didn't do those things. Even while having power, he didn't do those things. And this is what society needs today. People need to think like that. That, okay, I did you wrong, leave your soul to God, and God will find punishment. Rather it's that religion, or that religion, or that religion. That's what God is for, right? And that's exactly what Moses did on Passover, which is, this holiday is so important to learn from. He didn't curse out the pharaohs or actually use his staff power to burn all the Egyptians. He had power, no joke. He had power of all time, but he didn't do those things. Instead, taking his people, crossing the Red Sea, everything, he had some, like, you know, thoughts, like, you know, once upon a time the Egyptians were my family, but he had to move on. In the end, that is who he is. He has to move on from rich family to a simple family and move on with the Jews. And that's exactly how that movie ended. It's a really interesting story to learn from. It is. It is. It also teaches you, like, my skin, I'm going to use my own skin as an example. Can you see your skin get scars? So, like, when people push around Jews or a Muslim or a Christian and you're part of that faith, this skin, it gets affected. Like, okay, I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that. Whether it's faith or ethnicity, skins do get affected. It's like you have invisible scars on your skin and you keep getting it over and over and over and over again. This is why you lose control. Like, okay, it's not like that. We didn't mean it like that. No, please listen to us over and over again, right? But how to survive and how to heal yourself from the cuts when people, like, you know, be mean to you, like, oh, your religion is a joke, or you're a joke, or this is a joke. How do you survive? Education. Education helps you survive. If you're not going to look at other stuff, you're not going to read about other stuff to help you understand that, okay, I'm not the only one who's been through this shit. There are other people who've been through this. That helps. And that makes you understand the globe a little bit better. That, okay, there are other people who have done this shit before, and they fought before. And I say this all the time. There are many wars. People don't like to pay attention what type of wars are. They're the wars of religion, wars of creation. And one of my members actually told me that I should do a biblical medieval time video about the weapons. I know who you are if you're listening to the stream. Thank you for that, Dot. I'm gonna see if I can find a suitable documentary and do the talking in it about the weapons. But I say Passover is a very interesting holiday to learn from. It has so much to say. It has so much that you can teach little kids other than bread and share bread and matzah and things like that. It's other than that. That's like kind of like the cherry on top. Like, okay, I'm eating bread to celebrate Passover, or I'm enjoying anything related to bread on Passover. That's like the cherry on top. But the concept of the holiday, it has so much to say. Like, hey, what happened to the people on this day and how did they get free? How was the relationship, the guy who set him free, which would be Moses? And I told you, Moses was raised by Egyptians, and he didn't know, like, was he Jewish till much later. He found out he was Jewish. And obviously when you're raised in an Egyptian family, you think for a minute like, okay, you're my mom and things like that, and the people who are your slaves are actually your own people. You feel very, 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 very different. Very different. Now, he had the capacity to hate them in return, but he didn't. He didn't. The people that who are raising me are keeping my people in prison, but hey, do I choose the passage of hatred in return? Moses didn't do that. And that's why I say Passover, it's a really educational holiday to educate your children. The concept of it. It's told in the Bible. It's told in the Quran. I posted on my X. It's told in many things. Eating is not the important part. It's the concept of the story. Now, if you were to listen to the full story and understand its concept, how would you react? Would you hate people because of hatred is around? Or would you educate your children the concept of the story? And how would you educate your kids? That's how I see it. And I told you, there's movies, books, not just holy books, whole bunch of stuff. And learn from the Passover story. It's a very concept in life today. What is empathy? What is hatred? You have power to destroy, or you choose empathy. That's what Moses did. He chose empathy. God gave him power on his death, but he chose not to fight. He didn't fight. All he did is took his staff, lift up the sea, and let God do the stuff to the Egyptians. He didn't fight. And that's trust. That requires trust. And that's why what people are missing in today's society today is trust. People have a difficult time trusting people. People have a difficult time giving people chances. People have a difficult time really looking into history. It's my history comes first, or you're not my friend anymore. That's how people are thinking. But historically, that's not how the stuff is made. Because I know that I've seen from October 7th till now, I've seen people say the most dumbest things that I just go blank in front of them. Oh, your religion's copied. Okay, so if a religion is copied and you want someone to know your history, you want people to understand your pain in history, if something is copied, then how are they supposed to understand your history if it's copied? They're only going to understand it if the message goes. And the messages are given in multiple languages to multiple different faith books. They know because the message is given through those books. So what is copied? If you want somebody to understand your history, your life as an ethnic group, the only way they're going to understand it if they ever got a message through something about you. And those are the books. Those are the holy books. That, hey, this was them, this was them, this was them. And if you want people to get along, you need to give them the same rules. That's not copied. If you want people to get along and do the same concept as you do, that's required giving the messages. Like, for example, some people say, oh, the 10 Commandments were copied. The 10 Commandments were copied. Okay, if they were copied, so let me ask you this. If you want them to follow the same tradition as you do and understand your culture, do they need the similar message to understand? Of course they do. If you're not going to give them that message, they're not going to do it. And that's what those books give. They give the same message to the Christians, the same message to Muslims, that, hey, I want you to follow this tradition too. What they're given, we want you to follow it too. But if they're not going to get the message, why would they follow it? They're not given a message. Why would they follow it? Is there a reason? Or if you want somebody to understand your history, they don't have a reason to understand your history. They can reject you tomorrow if they're not given the message. They can reject you tomorrow and say like, oh, okay, you're a liar, whatever the hell happened in your life. We don't freaking care. We don't know about it. You're right. They will not know about it because they never got the message. But you get messages through the holy books. And now, that's what I say. When people talk about the most redundant, the most stupidest things, and post the most foolish things on YouTube, I'm not even worried about the numbers. I want people to learn at this time. It's really important for them. It's really important for their children, and it's really important to help people survive what's coming. And I tell you, bias behavior and hate, it's not going to get you nowhere. You're not helping your child. You're not helping anybody. You're just increasing the fire, not helping your child to survive. Nothing. And if you want your child to survive for itself, because your child is not going to go in reverse and turn into a baby, it's going to get older and older and older. You need to make it prepared. And that requires what you educate your child about everything. Even if it's the tiniest thing, tell it anyway. Because that way your child is warned, okay, this is that, and that is that. So your child does not feel like a lost cause tomorrow, okay? You guys are this happened to you, you guys are this, good, educate me a little more, so it fits into the world. But if people are not going to educate about other things and only educate the hatred, how's your child going to fit in? That's the parents' job. And that's exactly Passover, I would say, is that Moses was not told about his people, but God gave him hints when he met his mother, he met his sister. God gave him hints up here, like, who's your mother? He made him see visions. He gave him dreams. Like, hey, this is who they are, whether you accept it or not. Just like the movie The Prince of Egypt, look it up on YouTube. He was a lost cause. He started crying like it can't be because he lived a rich life with the Pharaoh. Very rich life. High standards, telling the slaves what to do, and pretty much do whatever he wants. He never pictured himself that he's linked to these people who are the slaves. So it's like high level life, back to the down life. How Jews are degraded all their life. They're degraded all their life. Oh, you're a Jew, who wants you? Right? So yes, he cried, but did he face it? Yes, he did. He couldn't escape it either. It's like something that you're told, you eventually have to face it, but you can't run from it. At some point, you're going to have to face it. And facing also requires certain changes. Changes. As a change can be through history. It can be a change in your life. It can be a change of a cause that you're doing. I'll name one. I know this content creator, right? He lives in Canada. His name is Justin, and you guys can find him, right? So he did a DNA test, and it turned out he had some heritage to Israel or whatever, and some of his ancestors, I don't know what ancestors, I wouldn't know, turned out to be Jewish. Now today, Canada is falling apart, and now he posted his passport that he's moving to Israel as an Arab. Now the whole world's watching. Like, huh? An Arab moving to Israel? I thought only Jews moved to Israel. An Arab moving to Israel? How? But he's a Muslim. How could he possibly move? Well, now, what do you think the people are going to react like? He showed his passport that, hey, I am moving, and I feel this is best for my family because Canada's showing a negative impact on, and I don't want my kids learning that stuff. So he made one. He was accepted as an Arab Muslim, and he's going, and the whole world's like, how's that possible? You can't go? Muslims are in war with Jews. Is that possible? Muslims are the Antichrist, as some people say, and I just laugh at my friend when she tells me. Life is made with many changes, and you risk many changes sometimes to help your kids learn. And I say this today, if he took that change to get rid of a Canadian passport and go as an Arab Muslim to Israel, he wants to educate his children. He wants his children to learn the meaning of Jewish culture, things like that. I mean, yes, there's different Jews all around the world, different Muslims all around the world. For example, I said this on one of my posts, that a Kurdish Jew is never going to like a Persian Jew. And you think for a minute, but Jews believe in the same thing. You're right, they do. But when it comes to ancestral homeland, there's another thing. You need to study about all the Jews. And I'm saying one. A Kurdish Jew is never going to like a Persian Jew. Persians going to choose their ancestry first. Kurdish are going to pick their ancestry first. They're not going to look at Israel in front of their ancestral homeland where they were established or took birth. For them, it's that first. And Kurdish Jews believe in liberation. Persian Jews believe in freedom of Iran. When they're arch enemies to each other. Now, if an Israeli Jew listened to that, it would be like, but you're Jewish, wouldn't you come to Israel? They're like, no, for us, this is important first. This land is important first. So there's so much out there, so much to review, and people just don't like to look. And there's a lot to review, a lot. People just haven't looked hard enough. And people are pulling each other's hair, oh, you're wrong, or you're wrong. No. History's made in different portions. There were good, bad, everything. And nothing was perfect in life, I can tell you that much. People are learning from Palm Sunday to Passover. My Eid just felt like an ordinary day. I didn't even wear makeup, just like how I come on my stream and I don't wear makeup. My Eid felt like an ordinary day. I just wore lipstick and wore a simple dress to my mom's house and just like, enjoy supper. And while my television here is showing me, oh, Israel's getting bombed by Iran, and here's my reaction, like, it's Eid, and I'm watching this on my television. Does it feel like a fun day? No, it feels like a very boring day if you look at it. It's my Eid, I'm trying to chew my food, and there's bombing going on my television. That's how some people feel right now. Palm Sunday, no vibe. Passover, no vibe. Well, that's because the atmosphere is changing, and we do not know what the atmosphere is going to bring tomorrow. But do you make your kids be locked up in it? No, you don't. No, you don't. And the best way to learn is the story of Passover. I say this to everyone. It's this day is a lesson. Hatred versus slavery. And who God gave power, did he show hatred in return? When knowing what happened to his people, how they were treated, they were beaten raw, like with those ropes or whatever. The Jews would get hit by those, and like hit with wood, anything possible. Their skin would be chopped off, beaten up by the Egyptians. But did Moses show the same anger in return while having God's powers? He could have beaten up the Egyptians. He didn't. He didn't. And from that society today, I'm not sure that Egyptians, they don't like Arabs either. They don't like Jews either. And that's another chapter to really look into people's backgrounds, like Egyptians versus who. That's another conflict to look at much later. But I want people to understand that empathy versus hatred. Empathy is going to help you survive. Hatred is only going to make yourself worse and worse and worse. I asked a really historical question to my friend, and she realized I wasn't comparing. I'm asking her a really historical question. If, let's say I convert to Christianity, I'm using this as an example. Let's say I do, and I ask this to my Jewish friends too. So if I choose to be mean, to this person, that person, because I feel like it, I feel they deserve any type of hell because they did something to me because I feel like it. So is Jesus going to carry my sins because the way I behave, or is he going to carry my sins once I repent and know that I'm not guilty? That counts. And that counts how you tell people stuff about people's religions. So he's going to carry my sins when he knows that I didn't do anything and I'm not guilty. I ask for forgiveness and apology to help me. That's when he would carry my sins. That's also, I bet that's in Judaism too. That's in the Quran too, that if you know you're crying for forgiveness, you want help, you know that you're not guilty, and you seek for help, for forgiveness because you didn't do anything, who's going to listen to you, and repent, that's when miracles come, and people like God or almost anybody look into you and tell your voice. But those who don't educate empathy, even though I know October 7th is the worst chapter in everybody's life, I didn't believe it at first. I'm being honest. I didn't believe that October 7th is going to affect the whole world. I felt like it's an ordinary myth, like, nah, what can possibly go wrong? It's not going to affect anybody. I felt like, nah, it's just an ordinary war. Who cares? But when I seen people's behavior, people's responses, people's aggression, people's emotions, people's way of responding to another human who has nothing to do with it, okay, maybe I have reconsideration that it really did affect everybody, this war. How to behave with people, how to give people chances, how to see people. But we must try. We must try. We must try. And this holiday teaches that. Did Moses beat the Egyptians when God gave him power? The answer is a no, even though the Egyptians wanted to stop all the Jews from going because they were slaves. And Moses had the power from God to make them help escape. But did he beat up the Egyptians with God's power? The answer is a no, because he was raised with Egyptians. And the Egyptian mother has showed him love and care, even though his mother sailed him off to the river and nobody knew what he would be found or safe, almost anything. But the Egyptians found him, raised him. Did he have the power to beat up the Egyptians knowing what happened to his people? The answer is a no. And that's what people need today. Show empathy. Show it anyway, even if it's no matter how bad you are pissed off. Still show it. Because in the end, at some point, people can't take hatred anymore, but this is what's going to help you survive. And those who still don't see it, I wish you luck. Because I learned that the hard way. When a lady did me wrong, she did me wrong and I acted like just like everybody else here. I wanted to literally get this lady back, and my emotions were out of control, and she's like, do you believe in God? Trust in God, you'll get her back. Why do you want to get her back? And I wasn't thinking. I feel like I sound like a Jew at the moment, because Jews feel the same way. They just need revenge due to the loss of their people. So I felt like I need to get her back. Just anything is possible. And my friend would say, do you believe in God? I'm like, yes, I do. She's like, well, leave it to God. He will get her back. And exactly 4 or 5 years later, she's unknown. She's not heard. Nobody's seen her. Nobody heard from her, and she's under investigation. It really helps. It helps. Trust and talk to those who give you chances. Those who don't believe in anything related to you, leave them aside. But don't push away those who actually want to get to know you. It can be anyone. It can be anyone. Even an Egyptian tomorrow. Okay, hey, Egyptian wants a change and they want to get to know other Jews. Oh, gee, but we were Egyptian slaves. How can we trust somebody from Egypt? Changes happen every day. Views change every day. Visions change every day. People agree, disagree. Tomorrow they're into something else. Yesterday they were into something else. And I learned that the hard way too. That, hey, my uncle told me as a little girl that when you get older, you will realize why Islam is not going to be the same as it used to be. And some Muslims are going to, congratulations, that happened in front of me. I'm not going to say it's a lie, because I met many converts, but they left. And I say one thing, if you understand the book, what's its concept, then you will understand other books, because other books have similar messages. You're just not matching it. And there's multiple languages around the globe that is a lot older and given before English itself. And that's how you know that the messages were told. If you want people to understand your history, then don't say it's copied. People need to understand the message based on what it's told about you. That's how people understand. If people don't understand those messages, they will not have a clue about you, and they're just going to be like, oh, you don't understand me. You don't understand my history, the pain I went through in all my life, being like this. Do you understand? But if copied, how am I supposed to understand? It's only going to be understandable if something is given to me about them. And today's holiday is one of them. So I hope my fans learned. Do you guys have any questions that you want to ask me? I say this today. Passover is a very reasonable, a lesson holiday. It's no ordinary holiday. It's a lesson. When you know someone has done you wrong to your people and you learn the hard way who they are, would you still show empathy? And that's the story of Moses. You can watch other movies of Moses on, I believe Netflix has some stories of Moses that you can watch other than Prince of Egypt. Let me type it in here. And let me see if I can find it on YouTube so I can share the link with you. But I feel like this is a very important movie. If you believe like the holy books are lying or social media is lying, just watch this. I say that to all my friends. You don't need everybody else's opinion. You need your own. And if you understand this, you are definitely going to understand, hey, what are these stories about? Because something that's the truth, and the truth itself, it has like multiple sources connected to it. Not just holy book, but videos, books, and things. If you show accurate stuff to people, not just statements by content creators like, oh, I have something to tell you. That's still interpretation. That's not educating, nothing. but the right stuff helps people learn. So I'm going to post this video, and I want people to take a look at this video, and if you feel you can watch it if you can handle it. But it's a pretty emotional video, especially on Passover, and especially if you're someone Jewish. It's not easy to watch, but it's reasonable to learn. What does this video represent? And that's the best advice I'm going to give to these people before I get ready to end my live stream. And I hope all my Jewish community had a wonderful Passover. Don't let this story get to you. I know the story is really, harsh due to what happened in the past, but always make your children understand that, hey, there's so much outside for you. You just got to discover and set fear aside. I didn't believe in fear at first. I used to be a coward. Like when for October 7th, I was a coward. Okay, I'm saying it. I felt that a lot of the Jewish people in Israel, I felt that they're haters of the Muslim world. And my brother, before I even said anything, before I even thought about speaking, my brother's like, oh, no, don't say anything about the Jews. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to get fired. Don't even talk about the Holocaust. I'm like, dude, I haven't even done anything yet. Why are you telling me all this stuff? He's like, no, I could lose my job. Jews have a strong power in America, and I don't want to lose my job. And I'm like, I'm not talking about any of that. And he's like, don't talk about the Holocaust. You might look wrong. And I'm like, so I just stepped aside at first. So I started off with simple videos off the internet, right? That's where I say that internet influence can be toxic or it can be good based on what you're presenting. So I started off with a simple video, and I'm going to share that video what was the first video I saw as a Muslim, and how did I react seeing that video. It was a lady with the Israeli flag marching like in a protest or something. I'm not sure how old is that video. She's like, get out of here. This is a Jewish country. We don't need Muslims here. We don't need any Muslims here. Get out. We don't need any Muslims. It's a Jewish country only. And oh my God, when I saw that, ooh, I got like vibes, and very unusual vibes. Like, oh my God, what is this place? They must really hate people, right? But I put my fear aside. I started to look up some people who are reasonable people. Like, okay, maybe if I talk to a few people, I can change my thoughts. And that's exactly what I started doing. I looked up 1 or 2 content creators. Like, look, I want what I'm predicting on social media to be wrong, what I'm feeling to be wrong, and that's exactly what I did. Then I found social media, like 1 or 2 content creators. I lost my fear, and I laugh about this, how I wrote messages to them. They got freaked out from me because I'm a Muslim, but hey, every crazy memory has a special memory connected to it when you become friends. Like, hey, we met a very crazy way. It's very memorable. Like, hey, this is how we met. Ta-da. So I got to know them. I got to talk to them. And that's when I slowly, like, okay, it's a myth. And then I finally got to go there. That changed even more. That, okay, that's when you learn that social media influence is stupid. You choose something that people can learn from. Choose something so people won't have fear from your country. Choose something that people do not judge your country based on, like, hatred that you present on social media. Share something so people can lose fear from it. And just be like, okay, it's an ordinary country, it's ordinary people, and give it a chance. And the biggest lessons, I guess, is myself, I can say. I was a coward after October 7th to even just versus what's around, and just to step in and actually meet an Israeli. Yeah, I was scared. And that video I saw, oh my God. I'm just going to say I freaked out from my computer screen, like, oh my God, they must hate everybody. But with time, I put my vision aside and gave it a chance to message people. The first person that I messaged, I'm going to share that before leaving what was my reaction. Oh my God, that made me more nervous. Her name is Melissa, right? And I believe there's a video about her where she's helping with the third temple or something. And she stated something like, that thing needs to burn, and it's time those fuckers needs to burn, like she was referring to the Muslims, things like that. And I'm like, oh my God, is everybody like that in the country? Do they really hate people? And when I decided to write her, and I wrote her, and oh my God, what she wrote me. And I started telling her, like, look, it's not like that. It's not what you think. And she's like, get away from me, you stupid terrorist. I'm this, I'm that, and I can have you, like, in lot or whatever. She told me the most unusual things, and I just felt like, who are these people, dude? Are they really like that? Do they not like any other humans but themselves? I felt like that. So after that, I felt like, no, I'm not messaging anybody. But somehow I put my anger and emotions aside. I did it again, and the second time I wrote it to two other names. I'm not going to say it on social media. And slowly, putting my emotions aside, fear aside, I just kept going and going and going. Even my skin getting injured, I just kept going. Somehow, I'm here. With different visions, different things to say, yeah. And that's what I tell people. Make your own mistakes, make your own visions, take blind chances. Once you have a self-observance, then say something about it. Don't say based on what people think. Make your own vision. So happy Passover to the Jewish community. I'm going to get ready to end my stream. And I hope everybody has a wonderful week. And happy early Easter. Happy belated Palm Sunday to the Christians. And yeah, I know holidays don't feel like holidays, but hey, we have to live still, don't we? Take care, you guys. I'm going to get ready to end the stream. And I hope everybody had a wonderful time. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to leave me in the comments. Anything. And feel free to reach me out. I'm on Twitter. You can message me on Twitter if you have any considerations. Yeah. And I'm going to get ready to upload another video maybe tomorrow if I get time. I think my next video is either going to be about biblical weapons or Damascus, one or the other. Stay tuned, y'all. Take care.